Hello, my friends, and welcome once again to Stately Vaughan Manor. And I am coming to you from out of the past. Yes, I am speaking to you, you people in the future, about the mystery boxes which I sent out to two lucky winners. I promised that I would reveal the surprise contents of these boxes once the boxes reach their destination. And so, if you are watching this video, the boxes have reached their destination. Otherwise, if they don't, if there's some sort of disaster, this video will never be seen by human eyes or non-human eyes. But I'm thinking positively, and I'm going to think that these boxes reach their destinations. So let's gaze into the contents which certain lucky winners won in my giveaway, for my 1K giveaway. I gave away these boxes in the past, which is my present that you'll be seeing in the future, which is your present. It's all so confusing, but one was a vintage science fiction box, a box filled with vintage science fiction, and the other one is a comic book box filled with comic book goodness. So let's look at the vintage science fiction box first. Here it is, the vintage science fiction box. It's going out in a Chewy box because I've got animals and they like to eat. So I get shipments from Chewy. So the contents of my science fiction box. Here they are. This is the first one. I've shown this before. This is the best science fiction stories of H.G. Wells. And this actually has the full novel of The Invisible Man in it. So it's worth it just for that. Well, of course it's worth it. It's free. But to that lucky winner. But it also has a bunch of really great short stories from H.G. Wells. I just happen to have all of this stuff in other books. So I really have no excuse to have it. So there you go. Now, the other things in this box, these are all vintage science fiction books that I managed to get more than one copy of. Because if you get enough old books, you're just going to get doubles, especially if you get like, maybe one or two old eBay shipments. So this is Robert A. Heinlein, The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. This is actually the second copy of the same edition. I've got the same edition. So I'm giving this one away in the giveaway. So The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. Very famous Heinlein novel. I'm giving this very strange science fiction book away. This is Fritz Leiber's The Wanderer. Actually got more than one copy of The Wanderer. This is a very strange alien end of the world type of novel with cat people. It's interesting. The Wanderer by Fritz Leiber. It's an interesting book. I don't think too many people have read this nowadays. I'm not sure it was ever a big deal, but some people really liked it. So there's that. And I did end up with two copies of this, the best from fantasy and science fiction 10th series. I don't know how I ended up with two of this one, but I did. It has a great cover. Look at that. That is a vintagey paperback cover right there. I like that cover a lot. And I got two of this one. So one goes in the mystery box. This is Out of My Mind by John Brunner. These are stories by John Brunner. So that's kind of cool. Although I haven't actually read that book yet. And I've got a hardcover of this book. This is a great book, though. This is the Science Fiction Hall of Fame. The Greatest Science Fiction Stories of All Time, edited by Robert Silverberg. There were 3 volumes of this, and this just has some fantastic stories. So I'm actually happy that the lucky winner is going to get this, because if you want some science fiction stories that are must-reads, all of those are fantastic. Then I got this one. This is a good old copy of The Dying Earth by Jack Vance, and that's a cool vintagey copy. This is the first book in the Dying Earth series. I've got an omnibus volume with all of those. Do I have that here? Yeah, I've got that there. on my bookshelf awaiting me. I also am sending out a copy of The Illustrated Man in here. A lot of people have this book already, so the lucky winner might already have a copy of this, but you know, you never know. So, The Illustrated Man. This one I did show that I was going to send this out. This is Beyond This Horizon by Heinlein. Very nice copy of that. So it's cool that this is going out. Then I've got The Lost World. I did a Sunday Penguin on this. This is Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World. And I feel that more people should read this book because it's so great. So I'm pretty happy to be shipping this one out. Can't wait for our lucky winner to get that. This is kind of a cheat because this isn't actually science fiction. This is straight up fantasy. But it is Robert E. Howard. And more people should read this stuff. This is Worms of the Earth. Worms of the Earth was probably Robert E. Howard's greatest story, one of his greatest stories. It's actually a horror story, really. But it is a fantasy story also. And you know, Ace says that this is science fiction even though it's not. So I'm putting it in the science fiction box. Don't blame me, blame Ace. But it's so fantastic. Why wouldn't you want that? Then I happened to get 2 copies of this book, The Great Explosion by Eric Frank Russell. This actually is a highly regarded book. So The Great Explosion, it is entertaining and it's got a great cover. So the lucky winner gets The Great Explosion. And finally, I got a few copies of this actually. This is The Voyage of the Space Beagle by A.E. Van Vogt. That guy. Famous science fiction writer, and this is a famous book, The Voyage of the Space Beagle. So there you go. Those are the science fiction volumes that are going out. Now let's look at some extra fun things here because this is the comic book box. Now, the first thing that I'm sending out in this comic book box is way awesome. I've got some graphic novels in here, but this is not that. This is a copy of the magazine that preceded The Savage Sword of Conan. This is Savage Tales, number 4, featuring Conan the Barbarian. And this is more savage than ever, this issue. It's actually in pretty good shape. I actually paid $2.25 for this, so it must have been a long time ago. I think it was in the 90s that I bought this one. So yeah, we got that. But this issue has a story by Gil Kane and Neil Adams. They both work on the artwork in this issue. And it is just astonishingly good. Just brilliant artwork in this issue. With an adaptation of the Robert E. Howard story, The Dark Man, in this. And it's just great. A magnificent, fantastic story. Just brilliant artwork by Gil Kane and Neil Adams in this. So it's worth it just for that. It also has, though, in this issue, aside from a bunch of cool articles, because this magazine had a bunch of cool articles in it. It also has a story that was published in the color comic book, but it's got the black and white version here by Roy Thomas and Barry Smith, The Dweller in the Dark. Just a really cool black and white version of this story. Has that really cool monster in it, and it's just excellent. So happy to give away this since I actually do have more than one copy of that. Don't ask me how, but I do. I'm also sending out, and this was no secret, I've talked about this, I'm sending this one out. This is Doctor Strange Epic Collection, Volume 1. Not the greatest printing quality on this. This is a little funky in the printing of it, but the stories are all printed very well, and it's all awesome. These are just awesome Doctor Strange stories. These are the original Doctor Strange stories by Lee and Ditko. So there you go. But you guys knew I was sending that out, but I'm also sending this book out, which I did talk about on one of my Epic Comic Book Wednesdays. This is Daredevil, Volume 1, The Man Without Fear. These are the first 21 issues of Daredevil. It has the great Wally Wood issues in this. And Gene Colan shows up at the end, I believe, and John Romita is in here too. All the stories written by Stan Lee. So this is excellent. I happen to have the first Daredevil omnibus that I got after I got this, which actually has the contents of the first 2 Epic collections, so I don't really need this anymore. So off it goes to the lucky comic book winner. So those are the 2 Epic collections. Here are a couple other interesting things that are going out. This is an essential volume, Marvel Essentials. This is the Tomb of Dracula Marvel Essential volume. This actually is a little tough to get nowadays. It is all in black and white, but it's glorious black and white. And if anything can look good in black and white, it's Gene Colan's The Tomb of Dracula. It's just an excellent, excellent comic book. I've talked about The Tomb of Dracula on my Epic Comic Book Wednesdays. It's really, really cool, The Tomb of Dracula. And this has the black and white versions of the first 25 issues of The Tomb of Dracula. Also has Werewolf by Night number 15 and Giant-Sized Chillers number 1. So this is pretty cool, I think. Again, I've got the omnibus, so I don't really need that anymore. Now here is an extra cool thing that is going out in this comic book volume. I talked recently about the Epic collection of Killraven that I received in the mail. I had forgotten that I ordered that actually because I already had it in this Marvel Masterworks version. This is the Marvel Masterworks Killraven Volume 1. There will not be a Volume 2 because unusually for a Marvel Masterworks volume, they put the whole saga in here. So this is like 450 pages, which is crazy long for a Marvel Masterworks. They usually only have 10 issues. And this has a lot more than that. This is the entire Killraven saga. Killraven in the future. This is the sequel to the War of the Worlds. And it's actually a really cool comic book. I'm keeping the Epic collection because I collect Epic collections. And I thought, you know what, I don't need like a hardcover version of that. Probably foolish of me, I know, to send out the hardcover, but it has just beautiful artwork. It's a fantastic book. Has the Killraven graphic novel from the 80s in here as well, which was beautiful. This is a great volume. So yeah, all that stuff in the comic book boxes, which I'm actually going to mail out tomorrow. I'm filming this on Halloween. Do you remember Halloween? Remember how awesome Halloween was? Don't you wish it was still Halloween? It'll come again one day. So yeah, that was the contents of my mystery boxes. I hope you enjoyed it. Now you are aware of the mystery. A mystery no longer. So catch me next time. I have no idea when this is going up or what day it's going up, so I can't say what's coming tomorrow. Because I have no idea, because this is me from the past, when I was a young, innocent man. All right, guys, you have a great day. I'll catch you next time here at Stately Vaughn Manor.